Are you wondering about the spiritual meaning of birds? Did you know that each of the 12 senior members of the Council of Light has specific birds associated with them? So if you're seeing bird signs and synchronicities, you might be receiving a spiritual sign from one of the most senior souls in our universe. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I mention the Council of Light, I'll link you to a couple of videos in the description which will tell you everything you need to know. Now, birds are full of spiritual meaning, especially those associated with the Council, and they're used as signs by the universe because they're all around us. And also, of course, they can travel great distances to find us and deliver their message. Now, at this time of global awakening, the universe is increasingly using these types of signs to tell awakeners something about themselves. So if you're getting synchronicities around specific birds, this could be a signal to you which council member you're descended from, or in other words, which branch of the soul family tree you come from. Of course, alternatively, they could represent your primary guide or a guide who is very important for you at this time, and that's telling you about the branch of the soul tree that guide descends from. Now, typically, if the universe is trying to get one of these signs in front of us, we're going to experience a synchronicity, which means that the same bird keeps popping up time and time again. And in fact, it's not unusual to get spiritual signs from more than one bird at a time, especially if you're going through your spiritual awakening. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be an actual physical bird. It can be a word or a picture in a book. It can be an image on the TV. It can be a logo on a shirt, or it could be a picture on a poster. But as you'll know, if you're awakening, we're constantly surrounded by signs from the universe and our guides. And with a bit of practice, it becomes really easy to spot them. Learning how to read these signs is an important skill for awakeners because the universe uses them both to encourage us and to direct us. Okay, before I tell you which birds are associated with each of the 12 council members, let me first of all just remind you quickly who the 12 council members are. So running from top to bottom, we have Lucifer, Om, Sophia, Michael, Freya, Aphrodite, Isis, Agamemnon, Thor, Mammon, Shakti, and Saturn. Now, at the moment, much of the spiritual meaning of the birds we see is associated with the first six: Lucifer, Om, Sophia, Michael, Freya, and Isis. And that's because these are the main council members who are driving the Global Enlightenment Project on this earth. Although some other council members are starting to get involved, like Shakti and Mammon. Global enlightenment is the next chapter in the game of life on this planet, and that is why so many people are awakening at this time, and so many people are receiving bird signs and synchronicities. Right, let's look at the birds that are associated with each council member. Let's start with Lucifer. Lucifer has a bad reputation on this planet, but honestly, it is unjustified. It really kind of comes from the fact that he looks after a special team whose task is to give us challenges to push against when we come here so we can learn more effectively. They have to use the negative energy we generate in this universe. That is their job. They are literally mandated to do it. Lucifer's bird is the blackbird. The colour black obviously symbolises rebellion. It's the opposite of white, which is associated with the council. But the blackbird is actually also known for its beautiful song. And of course, Lucifer looks after music. So if you're seeing blackbird synchronicities, it probably means that you're associated with Lucifer in some way. However, blackbird symbols could also be encouraging you to break away from the herd, think for yourself, go up against the system, and really to question everything. Now let's look at Om, who is the soul who currently leads the Council of Light. His birds are the dove and the pigeon. Now, Om represents ultimate compassion, love, harmony, and peace, and the dove, of course, is associated with all of those qualities. But Om is also represented by the pigeon because pigeons are everywhere, just like Om. Pigeons represent equality and humility, signifying that Om is both all around us and one of us. Now on to Sophia. In Greek mythology, Sophia incarnated as the goddess of wisdom, and her bird is the owl, and particularly the snowy owl. Now, of course, we all know the idea of the wise owl. That association is really obvious to us, but the owl is white because also that is the colour associated with Sophia. So if you're seeing owl signs, it could mean that Sophia or someone from her branch is guiding you, or that you yourself descend from this member of the council. Now for Freya. Freya's bird is the eagle, especially the golden eagle, and this is linked to her long association with Scandinavian countries where eagles are commonly found, but it's also relevant because eagles symbolize truth, honesty, and freedom. And Freya represents self-expression and authenticity. So if you are receiving synchronicities around eagles, it might mean you're connected to Freya in some way, but it could also be encouraging you to express yourself and to live an authentic and creative life. Aphrodite's bird is the swan. Now, Aphrodite represents harmony, balance, the big emotions, parenthood, pregnancy, and grace. So it's easy to see how a swan fits into that tradition. Now, the heart symbol formed by two swans with their heads and their necks is actually a reflection of Aphrodite's strong association with love, because obviously she has lived a life as the goddess of love. Now, if you're seeing swan signs, of course, it can mean you're connected to Aphrodite or that she is guiding you. Isis is represented by the crow and the magpie, as well as other members of the corvid family. Crows symbolize transformation, and Isis is all about the spiritual and the mystical side of life. And in fact, she is the sponsor of the Global Enlightenment Project, this big rollout of spiritual awakening, global enlightenment that we're seeing across the world right now. So if you're seeing crow or magpie synchronicities, it can often mean at this time that you are undergoing a transformation, and typically that you're on the awakening path. But of course, as with all the birds, it could also mean that you are connected to the Isis line of the soul family tree in some way. Now, Michael, the archangel, is represented by small domestic birds like sparrows, swallows, and especially bluebirds because blue is his colour. Michael takes on a protective role during spiritual awakening, so seeing synchronicities around his birds typically means you're being protected, especially if you are going through your own spiritual awakening. Okay, on to Thor. Now, robins have been associated with Thor since the time of Norse mythology. The story goes that Thor was fond of the colour red and therefore adopted the robin as his mascot. Now, Thor is also responsible for building and physical infrastructure, and robins are very versatile builders of nests, so they also symbolise this aspect of this council member. If you're seeing robin signs, it likely means that you're descended from Thor or you're being guided by someone in his line. Agamemnon's birds are the hawk and the falcon. We're moving out of an Agamemnon phase right now and moving towards global enlightenment, because Agamemnon represents leadership, war, governments and authoritarian regimes, and of course the patriarchy. So if you see hawk or falcon synchronicities, you are associated with Agamemnon in some way, or one of his team is supporting you. Next, Mammon. Mammon looks after banking, finance, money, commerce, and barter. His bird is the peacock, which represents showiness and material things, but also power, the acquisition of power. So if you're seeing peacock synchronicities, it may mean you're associated with Mammon in some way, but it can also mean good luck is coming your way, especially around money, or that you're about to acquire some power. Shakti looks after religion and societal structures. Her bird is the parrot, symbolizing adherence to rules because parrots repeat words without questioning. If you're seeing parrot synchronicities, it can be a sign that you're linked to Shakti, but it can also indicate that you need to shed old belief systems, break free, and think for yourself. Finally, Saturn. Saturn is concerned with agriculture, farming and husbandry, as well as other essentials for human survival. His birds are domestic fowl, particularly chickens and geese. And if you're seeing chicken or geese synchronicities, it could mean that you're associated with Saturn, or it could mean that you need to focus on your basic security, your basic well-being, and look after yourself. They can also actually be assigned to take things easy, as Saturn is a very relaxed and happy character. If you'd like to understand more about the Council of Light, you might want to take a look at this playlist.